I guess part of what you saw was really, as you just kind of alluded to, the harder side of adoption, right? The more difficult side, to be able to help people, kind of have eyes wide open. But can you share about that? What you discovered when you dug deep into their stories, and really why, as you said in the book, you transitioned from simply celebrating the happy ending Cinderella-like adoption stories, but really felt that it was critical to tell the whole truth when we are, quote unquote, marketing adoption, right?
hmm Yeah, well, I think like anybody, any of us, we all love Cinderella stories. It's why we go to movies. It's why we love redemptive stories. I love redemptive stories, and I know in that first chapter I talk about I loved telling them, but I also recognized I was telling the story at the very first part of the journey, which was
Mm.
family comes, God moves all these hurdles for them to be able to get said child into their family. And so they see all these hurdles that were overcome. And that was usually where my story ended, was, and child goes home. So, right, that's the beautiful story we tell. And everyone gets really excited about that. And then it's like, but what happens after happily ever after? And I think that's the part where so many stories stop and we don't do justice by sharing more. And I think as my years were ticking by in advocacy, I was becoming more aware of the harder stories and the not so Cinderella-like stories. And I've always just I'm very passionate about truth and truth telling, and I think as I was wrestling with that, is like, oh, am I always telling the truth, or am I afraid, is adoption becoming this like idol that I have to protect and I can't share the whole truth for fear of this is going to fall apart? And so I was kind of coming face to face with that of like, I can still believe in adoption and believe that this is necessary, but still be a truth teller and share the whole spectrum. And so that was why I set out on the road trip, because I wanted to allow families to have that space where they could share truthfully and know that, it was a part of the journey and that they could share that with other people.